Hi there. It's been a while since we've seen one another, but welcome back to another self hypnosis session. This one is coming out of some work that I've been doing lately with a client who is suffering from the yips in his golf game. For those of you who aren't familiar with what the yips are these unconscious, undesirable sort of like movements or glitches in your swing, your chip, your putt that can ruin a perfectly great round of golf. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. The good news is that hypnosis, as you probably know already, is a great way to deal with the mental aspects, particularly of every sport. And for those of you who may be skeptical, I invite you to Google around a bit, and you'll discover that there's a lot of peer reviewed research about golf, particularly, and some testimonials from very big names in golf that you will recognize who use hypnosis regularly to help their game. All right. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through just some of the preparations you're going to do and uh, the stages that we're going to go through in the self hypnosis process. And then we're going to go through a session together, you and I. So, I'll lead you through one so that you'll be able to do this easily and effortlessly. Um, Anytime you want to. And although the first couple of times you go through, it's going to take a couple of minutes, but eventually you'll be able just to do it within, I'm going to say seconds, because that's how quickly it can happen once you build that pathway to get into that space, that zone. You'll be able to get into that very quickly because the idea, of course, is that you're going to be able to do that when you're sort of in situ, when you're in the game, when you're in the middle of the fairway, or if you're making that putt, um, that you'll be able to have that moment right now without sort of interrupting your game at all. So that's the goal. And for those of you who have already seen and watched my other self hypnosis videos, particularly the ones with for writers. The too long didn't watch story here is just substitute your writing suggestions for your golfing suggestions. All right. So for the rest of us here that are going to go through it, here's the preparation. First of all, foremost, this is the most important one, and that is your commitment. You need to commit to the process. You need just don't waste your time if you're not going to put in the work. And the work is, you know, it's it's very minimal. But if you don't commit, then the work it just won't work for you. So clarify your commitment. Know what you want to do and why you're doing this. And the more specific you can be, the better. You can start off generally, I want to improve my swing, but it might be, I want that sort of sense of confidence when I am stepping onto the green, or I want, you can be really specific in, as I, approach the ball, I want this or that. So you can be as specific as you want to be, but at the same time, you want to allow your unconscious mind to accept those suggestions and allow it to do its work so that you don't have to um, micromanage your unconscious mind, because I think that is one of the challenges that face golfers is that they get into their head and they spend a lot of time trying to uh, having to quiet that that editor, that critic that's going on in their brain that's constantly giving them adjustments to make and those sorts of things, when what you really want is you want a clear, relaxed confidence when you're stepping up onto the green. Okay, so that's first, commit. And expect things to happen. Expect great things to happen. And allow yourself to expect great things to happen. So if you allow it to happen, you expect it to happen, it will happen easily and effortlessly. Okay, number two is we can begin with this, at your desk or somewhere around that you can have a nice quiet spot. But eventually, you're going to probably want to do this outside. You might start in a backyard or a park. You might even start eventually onto the green itself, because you want to bring this tool with you to the places that you're going to be playing. And again, this isn't something that you're going to have to stop your game and drop into self-hypnosis for 5 minutes. This is something that you're going to be able to do within a matter of seconds, just to drop in there to clear the mind and get ready for that swing. So that's something that you may want to try a few times before you get out. And with that in mind, I'll be using a pen for this. We'll get to it in a moment for the object of my fixation. But it makes complete sense that you're going to use a club. So use that club that, if you're having trouble putting, bring the putter. If you're having trouble, driving, then bring your driver, being, of course, careful of your environment and being aware of anybody or anything around you. But it's just to give you that object of fixation. So, for example, you might, when we get to that place, you might hold the club as you would hold it in a game. If you have like a special grip that you use before you do a swing, then put that grip, because you want to create those associations with this positive mind state. So it makes perfect sense to use your club and to use your grip as those sort of those keys, those milestones that allow you to drop into that zone easily and effortlessly. Okay, so use the club. And then, four, there's a chance when we get down into that sort of like the deepest spot in our hypnosis session, that we're going to want to deliver our suggestions to us. And so we want to make those suggestions as clear and direct as possible. And we also want to phrase it in a positive way. And I'll clarify those things. By clear and direct as possible, as I'm going through the demonstration, I'm going to be using the language that my client and I have used in terms of the things that he wants to accomplish. So he wants a swing that feels free and effortless. So, so that's the language that I'm going to be using. But it might be, you might be, very specific about, when you're putting, or, when I'm making a chip shot, I want to, make sure I get into the proper stance immediately. Or, so be very specific. And also, be positive. And by positive, I don't just mean, you're going to do a great game, although that's a great suggestion to give yourself. But be positive insofar as don't frame your suggestion in a negative. So don't say, don't overthink things when you go to the hole. Instead, frame it, be clear-minded and confident when you step up to make your drive. Do you understand? So it's don't frame it in a what not to do. Frame it instead in a what you will do, what you want to have happen. Okay? It makes a big difference. Okay, so with those things in mind, I think that we're ready to go to give you a recap of the 7 steps for self-hypnosis, and then we're going to go through a demonstration. Okay, so get ready for part 2. Okay, here we go for part 2. This is just a quick recap of the 7 steps for self-hypnosis. They're very easy to follow, and they kind of overlap from time to time. But the idea is that you can do this easily and relaxed. It's very simple to do. Stage 1 is to find a quiet spot, especially near the beginning. Eventually, you're going to be able to do it in the middle of a crowded fairway with people talking and yakking back and forth. But right now, when you're learning how to do it, choose a quiet place where you have like a little bit of room that you can be comfortable, maybe sitting with your feet on the ground, your hands just sort of like, not crossed, but nice and relaxed, maybe down by your side or in your lap. All right, so that'll be step 1. And then also you're going to, in step 1, just clarify why you're here. You're going to go, I'm going to have a better golf game. I want to have a better golf game. I want to play with easy, relaxed confidence. Great. That's your intention. And then number 2, we're going to focus on our breathing. And there's a special breathing that I use. It's not, once you start going down the rabbit hole of breath and the things that it can do for you, you'll have a lot to keep you occupied. Otherwise, for today, we're just going to do like a simple 4-4 breathing, which means we're going to inhale for 4 and then exhale for 4, breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And as we do it, we're going to imagine ourselves, getting more and more relaxed. We're going to let the muscles relax there in order to prepare us for the next step. And then for step 3, this is where we start going beyond the relaxation into the suggestion. So we're going to begin with a focusing our awareness. In this case, I'm going to use a pen. If you have your club with you, you can use your club. But you're going to focus your awareness after the breathing. You're going to focus your awareness on the club that is in your hands. And you're going to hold it in such a way like that it's going to be there. You're going to make sure that if you have the club, that there's nothing in front of you if that goes down, because eventually it will. So just making sure that everything is good and clear. I'm going to use my pen so I don't have to use that, because eventually we're going to have it so that the object of our fixation just goes down. Again, it's sort of echoing that movement that you're going to have when you're getting ready to step up to the tee. All right. So you're preparing to focus your awareness. And by that, you're going to focus your attention, your imagination. You're going to just put your awareness on that object. And here particularly, I'm going to put my awareness on the object and where it meets my body. Because then I am going to move on to step 4, which is to engage the unconscious. I want to engage my unconscious mind. This process is to engage the unconscious mind and let it help us with our swing. We've already worked our conscious mind. We've read all the books. We've watched all the videos. We've had our coach tell us what to do. So we have all that information somewhere back here. But there is something that is interfering, that is standing between this knowledge and that free, confident, powerful swing. So what the job of the unconscious is to allow us to do those things without thought, without analysis, without that critical thinking. And by critical thinking, in that negative way of overthinking, of getting in our own way, of, talking to ourselves, critiquing ourselves as we're going along. We don't want to have anything to do with that. Instead, we'll engage our unconscious mind. And by doing that, we need to turn off that critical thinking. And it's common and it's for some people it can be harder than for others to do. But the trick is to give the conscious mind something to do that allow the unconscious mind to take over. I know this might sound a little woo-woo at the moment, but trust me, it will be very practical for you. So we're going to engage our unconscious mind, and we're going to do that by uh, forcing our awareness to this object of fixation and 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 asking it to become aware of something. And in this case, uh, uh, I'm going to ask it to become aware of a pulsing or a throbbing or a little heartbeat somewhere in that club. I'm going to feel it from that club. So I'm going to give that suggestion myself to focus my awareness on the club, and eventually I will feel a pulse, a throbbing, something like that, an impulse from emanating from that club, from that pencil, from whatever I am holding. And when I feel that, and not until I feel that, then I can move on to the next step. Okay? And for those of you who may be worried whether or not you're going to be able to feel that, you absolutely will. You're going to astound yourself at feeling how that inanimate club will come to life for you. And then the next step, which is the easiest step, which is just to say to yourself, now go deeper. Whatever that means to you, you want to go deeper. And as you go deeper, that club, that object of fixation will begin to drift down only as you go deeper, 100 times deeper. That's right. And so I'll be giving you that language that you can use for yourself. And then the idea is that once your unconscious mind allows that club to go all the way down, once it comes down and you're completely relaxed, then you can deliver your suggestions, which is our next step, step 6, which is deliver your suggestions. You want to deliver them consciously. You want to deliver them positively, and it will become more easy. It'll become easier every time you do this. But that's why it's a good idea, I think, to have those suggestions ready to go and framed in a positive way. I want to play confidently. I want to play with a relaxed peace. I want my swing to be smooth and powerful. I want my play to be. So you just pick up that language, whatever language that you want for yourself. And if I'm saying things as we go through the demonstration that aren't quite what you would say to yourself, that's okay. You can just ignore it and you can just deliver the suggestions to yourself that you want to improve your game. Okay, and so once you've delivered those suggestions, and I would also add to add a time frame to that, and this will happen immediately. And the next time I play golf, it will happen. And not only that, but the next time I try to do this, not try, the next time I do this self hypnosis, I'll do it even more easily. I'll be able to do it quicker and more easily and more effortlessly. And every time I do it, my game gets even better. So, all that kind of language will allow you to make the most of this experience. And then finally, step 7 is to bring yourself up. And bring yourself up with intention and confidence. Sometimes when you're going through this process, when you're down, and you're nice and relaxed, you can come back out feeling a little, a little not quite as bright as you would like. So that's why when you're counting yourself back up, and it's just counting up from 1 to 5, when you bring yourself up with that intention of, if you're going to get ready for a game of golf or getting ready for a social situation, then bring yourself up ready for that, so that I'm going to be feeling refreshed and awake and spry and feeling great. Because you don't want to necessarily, if you're doing this at bedtime, sure, and then when I'm going to come up, you can feel relaxed and you can feel ready to, you know, have a uh, nice night's sleep. But if you're going to be playing some golf or something like that, bring yourself up with that intention of being refreshed, awake, vibrant, alive. Okay? So those are the 7 steps. And then our next step, we're going to go through a demonstration. I'll lead you right through it. Okay? Okay, here we go. Our demonstration. We're going to walk through it. All right. So you've got yourself in a quiet spot. You know those suggestions that you're going to make to yourself. That's right. Good. And you're ready to do this with that intention of improving your golf game. You're expecting to be able to do this easily. And you're going to be open to the experience. And you're going to take every step at a time. All right. You also have your club or your pen or your pencil or whatever you're using with you. In front of you, there he is. Let's put your feet on the ground if that's possible. If you're lying in bed, then they can just be stretched out and relaxed. Your hands there in front of you. All right, so step 1, there we go. We got it. Everything is around you. Good, you're aware of that. And now you're going to start focusing on your breathing. On a 4 count in, hold it for a moment, and then a 4 count out. So it's and in, hold it for a moment, then exhale. Just keep doing that as I'm going to suggest to you that the idea here is that you're going to relax. So if you notice any tension in your shoulders, you can let that go. In your neck, in your arms. You can let all that tension go as you continue that breathing. And you notice those little knots untying themselves in your body. There you go. You don't have to close your eyes, but you can if you want to. There we go. One more time till we move on to the next step. Good. And even if you didn't do anything else, you did your body a lot of good just in these last few moments. Just that breathing allows us to relax, lowers the heart rate, lowers the stress level. It's good. All right, so let's move on to step 2. Step 3. We're already 2 steps in. Okay. And that is to focus our awareness. So pick up that item that you're using, that object of fixation, that's what I'm going to call it, and hold it in your hands, and you're going to focus your awareness on that object as you continue to breathe in that 4-4. That's right. And you can tell yourself that's right. You're doing great. Focusing your attention, your awareness, your imagination on that object. And by focusing your awareness, just feel that object in your hands. Notice if you can tell the difference where the object ends and your fingers begin. Really pick a spot, a particular spot on either your hands or the object that you're going to be focusing your attention on. You can really feel the difference now in your breath. And your awareness now is focused there. You can just listen to my voice now, but you'll be listening to your own voice. Thoughts can come, float through your mind. They can come in and they can come out, but your mind will be quieting down a bit now. That's great. And we're ready to move on to the next phase, the next stage, which is step 4 and engaging your unconscious mind. So, I want my unconscious mind to become aware of that object in my hand, that club, that pen, whatever it is. And I want my unconscious mind to begin to feel a pulse, a throbbing, just a little beat, a little rhythm, almost like there is maybe a heartbeat or a breath within that object that I'm holding. Expect it to happen, allow it to happen, and it will happen easily and effortlessly. And for some of you, it might be a very subtle thing. For others of you, it might be very dramatic sense, but you will feel that. And take the time it takes to engage your unconscious mind. Breathing, focusing, allowing that pulse, just a gentle pulse there. And when you feel it, give yourself a pat in the back and say, that's right. And now that object, that club, that pen will drift down only as quickly as I am prepared to go more deeply into this sense of relaxed concentration, of focused awareness. Whatever language you want to use, that is the language that you're going to use, which is you're going to drift down into that deep sense of hypnosis, trance, focused awareness, relaxation, deeper, deeper. And that's our next stage now, going, that's right, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. That club, that object, drifting down only as quickly as I'm going 10 times deeper, 20 times deeper. And allow yourself to drift down deeper and deeper. That's good. And then when it gets all the way down, you can go, that's right. And now we're at stage 6, and that is to deliver your suggestions. And so now that I am here in this state of relaxed awareness, I am going to suggest I want to swing with more freedom. I'm going to swing easily and effortlessly. Every time I pick up a club, I will feel confident. My mind will be free and clear. Every time I walk from one hole to another, I'll feel more confident, more relaxed. With every club that I pick up, I will be able to enjoy the best game. I can swing with power, with ease, with freedom. Deliver all of those suggestions that you want to deliver to yourself now. And also tell yourself that this becomes easier every time you do it. And every time you do this process, you get into it quicker. You can relax and get more deeply into the process more quickly, more easily, more effortlessly. I want my body and my mind to work together to allow me to enjoy the best game of my life, and I want it to happen now. I want to begin now to improve my game, to improve my enjoyment, that I can play with easy clarity, with relaxed confidence. That's good. And now we're going to go to the next step. Step 7, and then you're going to bring yourself up with that intention. So I'm going to assume right now that you've got a day ahead of you. So I'm going to say, and now we're going to count up from 1 to 5. And as I count from 1 to 5, I'm going to feel more refreshed, more ready to face whatever is waiting for me for the rest of my day. And I'm going to come back at the count of 5, awake, refreshed, and ready for the day. So 1, you're feeling wonderful. 2, feeling 2 times better. 3, feeling that freedom that you didn't think possible. 4, taking a nice deep breath in of energy-giving oxygen and allowing that to course through your body as you count to 5, feeling wonderfully alive, wide awake, back to the room, ready for the rest of the day. There you go. So there you have it. That is your first time through. Your first time through. How do you feel? Check in. Good. Excellent. Ideally, we would do this a few more times. If I had a client and I was teaching them how to do self-hypnosis for themselves, I would, absolutely go through it a couple more times, one leading through a little less of me talking, and then the last time with me not talking at all, them just doing it themselves. But if you want to, you can watch my previous video. And if you want just to have that sort of session, I'll be happy to make another video that's about that. Just leave a comment or a suggestion there below. Thanks for going through this for me today. For those of you who do try this, please, by all means, let us know how things turned out for you. I can expect great things for a lot of folks out there. All right. Thanks very much for joining me today, and we'll see you again next time. Okay, bye.